One. What's going on, YouTube, everybody, in the community? This is the Aboriginal Sports Network. We got the three amigos. We got TP Way, NYG, 22 Unpopular Opinion Sports, and yours truly, Big Pat Sports Talk. We're going to talk to you guys about New York Giants free agency, which you know it starts Monday, tomorrow. So we're going to give you some pointers and everything, what we think the New York Giants should do in free agency coming up right after the intro. Let's get into it.
4, 3, 2, 1. Connect!
Thank you guys for tuning in, and look, welcome to New York Giants Full Access. New York Giants Full Access. Hey, what's going on? As we know, New York Giants free agency will start tomorrow. You'll start to see exactly what the plan is for the New York Giants going into the 2025 season. And there's been rumors such as Aaron Rodgers. We tried to go after Matthew Stafford. It's been rumors about actually Najee Harris coming over to the New York Giants, which is a guy I wanted us to trade for, I believe, 2 years ago. When Pittsburgh made him available. So we're gonna start off like, who are some of the guys that you think that the New York Giants should target in this free agency, man? Who are some of the guys?
Man, I mean, I'll go ahead and start. I think that we all know what we want, and we all know, kind of the game plan, I would say. I think we all are on the same accord when it comes to different positions, and you can leave that right there because that's where I was going. We know the different pieces, man, that we are looking for, man, that we want to go. And to me, man, I kind of just look at this whole thing just thinking about what could take us to elite trajectory. And I want to get Dexter Lawrence some help, man. I want to get Dexter Lawrence some help. So, yeah, Washington, they just let go of, I'm having a brain freeze. What's his name?
Jonathan Allen.
Jonathan Allen. Why not? Why not? I'm not even sure what the particulars, like what the price point is to get somebody like him, but I think that he is somebody who is underrated. Like, yes, he had quite a quiet season, and we've seen him at times be completely dominant. But I think with him next to Dexter Lawrence, come on, man. Let's put our ticket in and see if he can join the Big Blue for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of guys out there as far as the defensive line can go that we should go towards as far as getting some help for Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns. Kayvon Thibodeau is in the actual, if he's actually in the plans. One of the guys that you just seen, two of the guys you just seen from the Eagles coming off Super Bowl championship, Josh Sweat and Milton Williams. You actually hurt the Eagles if you could get one of those guys to come over here to this team and go against the Eagles. They know the Eagles brass. They play with the Eagles.
Yep.
So it would be cool in order to get two of those guys to come over here and play with Dexter Lawrence, man. But NYG, what you think about it?
Man, the New York Giants.
Hold on, NYG.
But I think the New York Giants, they have a problem and it's on the offensive and defensive lines. So I think definitely those are the positions you need to target in free agency. We're talking about guys like Will Fries on the offensive line. You mentioned Milton Williams, you know, on the defensive line. You can go after Khalil Mack. Why not? Why not bring a veteran in here, you know, to help your edge rush group? So those are the areas where you're behind the Eagles, where you're behind the Cowboys. You're going to be behind the Commanders. You better watch out. So you got to get this line straight. And the Giants have struggled. They have struggled mightily drafting on the offensive line. In recent years, drafting on the defensive line. That used to be our staple. Defensive lineman after defensive lineman after defensive lineman coming through the pipeline. You know, now we got to go out and reach. Now we got to go out and hunt. You got to go out and overpay. So, again, that needs to be the target. Offensive line and defensive line first and foremost.
And that's
I like some of the cats out there. Yeah, I like some of the cats out there. But you know, they need to be smart. Don't overpay. Don't get in a bad situation.
So what do you think about adding some veteran leadership in free agency on that defensive line to help out some of the young gunners that we're going to be bringing in? As far as I think we're going to draft the edge rusher in this upcoming NFL draft. What do you think about some of the guys like here on the screen? Khalil Mack. What do you guys think about a Khalil Mack? Do you think that it'd be worth to bring a guy like that in here? Go ahead, TP.
You hit it on the head, because the reality is we need veteran leadership on both sides of the ball. And Khalil Mack, you know, fits that mold. And I hate to do the comparison thing, but you have to give respect when it's due, even with the Commanders, man. You know, they did the same thing with Bobby Wagner. And you see how much that translated to on the field. You know, Bobby Wagner played that veteran role for that defense. And although, you know, that defense isn't, I say, like elite or super special, I mean, you could see that they played with a different type of intensity than they have in previous years. So Khalil Mack can be that for this New York Giant team. If we look at the leaders that's on his defensive side of the ball, they're not real vocal leaders, and I wouldn't put them in the category as, I would say, real true veterans. You know, you got Brian Burns, but then after that, it's like, where do you go? You know, Dexter Lawrence, he doesn't really give you that rah-rah feel. You know, he gives you the lead by example, but as far as bringing that defense all together, riling them all together, and being that guy that you need to have in that locker room, why not Khalil Mack?
I mean, that's my whole ordeal of it. Khalil Mack, not only will he be able to help out a Kayvon Thibodeau if he's in your plans, but if he's not in your plans, he's a great placeholder. Yes, he's 33, 34 years old, but that man still has, I think, about 3 to 4 more years of dominant play in him. So he can hold it down until your young gun is ready to come out there and play. Khalil Mack is still that dude. He's still, over the past season, had a game where he had 6 sacks. He had 6 sacks in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The dude still gets it. The dude can still go out there and work. The dude still can go out there and dominate. And you put that with Brian Burns on the outside and Dexter Lawrence on the inside.
Come on, man.
And then let's say you get a Milton Williams or somebody. Now we can compete in the NFC East. Now people are like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is my son. We need to scout. You know what I'm saying?
I have a question for y'all. Because the big question to me is, how can the New York Giants sell the idea to these players, man, that we want? Because I've been saying we are not the only one that's trying to be the only one. And when I say that, I mean, there are other teams out there that want a Khalil Mack. You know, there's other teams that want, there's free agents, you know, that coming up. So how can the New York Giants be the front runner to get these guys? That is the main question, man. That is the big question mark for me.
That's the huge question. It would have been a better pitch if they did not bring back Brian Daboll and Joe Shane, and it'd be like, hey, look, we're done with the nonsense, but they're actually back. So that nonsense that people thought about the New York Giants this past season is still here. Yep. So the only way you're gonna get past that is money.
Yes,
the only way you're gonna get past it is money.
Yeah, money talks.
This player might get $22 million from another team, a good team. You're probably gonna have to come to the table like, hey, $25 million.
Yeah, it
is what it is, man. We put ourselves in this position to where we have to overpay for people, and so you can't have it everywhere which way you want it. We won't change. We want this, but you don't change. And now you don't want to overpay for people. Ain't nobody gonna come for market value to the New York Giants. If my market value is $18 million, I go to the New York Giants. The New York Giants gonna have to give me at least 20 to 21, maybe even 22 for me to even consider you.
Yeah. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? We put ourselves in that position. I'm a realist. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, you can go get this guy for $15 million when he would have took $17 million here. No, that's the Eagles. That's the Commanders. That's the Chiefs. That's the Chargers. That's the Texans. Okay, I'll take a little bit less money to come here because I know I can win. You can't win with you dudes.
And that's what I've been saying too, Pat.
To me.
I've been saying that too, man. Like, look, what does the player want? Everybody keep acting like the New York Giants got their pick of the litter. What about these players? Because to be honest with you, man, I'm not messing with y'all. Y'all bad for my career. You bad for my health.
Come
you know
on.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
For real. You are bad for my health.
And I've been saying the New York Giants, we're not the team where players necessarily go to die, but we damn sure are not the team where players go to thrive. Like,
no.
Usually when they leave the New York Football Giants is when their career takes another step. And so even when it comes to the money aspect, if you think about the big picture, if they're sitting at the table and a true contender is saying, listen, we'll give you this, you know, our money is good. The big picture also says, well, the New York Giants are offering me a few more dollars, but I could probably make a bigger name, or I could probably make more money just by being more successful with this team. And so when you play the money game, you also have to consider that train of thought as well. So that's why it's kind of just like, damn, man, like we are in a whole type of sense, man. And we just got to really hope that Joe Shane could get into his bag and really outbid these guys, man, and get busy. We need an active offseason, man.
That's a fact. Here's another avenue I think that we can go to get a little bit of help for Dexter Lawrence out there, and that's a man named Trey Hendrickson from the Cincinnati Bengals.
You should know him very well.
Yeah, right. He killed us last year.
Sure.
The trade market. This is the only way you'll be able to, you know, get the man and be able to give him a contract that he wants without having to be a super spender in free agency. I think Trey Hendrickson, if you could get him for a 3rd round pick, yes, he's 31 years old now, 30, getting ready to be 31. But Trey Hendrickson is a monster.
Yeah.
I would give up a 3rd round pick for him in a heartbeat. And yes, I do believe you move on from Thibodeau if you get a Trey Hendrickson. He's not going to start in front of Trey Hendrickson. He's not going to get his snaps. He's going to complain. You trade him mid-season and get what you can for Kayvon Thibodeau. Really, you should be calling the Lions right now. Since Myles Garrett is off the board, there won't another edge rusher opposite of my boy that got injured.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, so I would be on the horn calling the Detroit Lions. Hey, look, maybe a little bit desperate coming off the loss and embarrassing loss in the playoffs last year. Yeah. You want that other edge rusher, maybe they might give you a second round pick since it's so low.
Yeah.
For Kayvon Thibodeau right now, and pair the top two edge rushers of their class when they came out in the draft.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's the way you pitch it to them. Yeah, you can have both those guys on the same team now. You know what I'm saying? And you're one step away from the Super Bowl. Pitch it to them like that. Get you some draft capital back from Thibodeau. Use some draft capital to get Trey Hendrickson and go on with two veterans. Mm-hmm. We need veteran leadership on this team.
That's a fact.
So I like that idea, man. Well, what do you guys think?
I love the idea, man. I've mentioned that I'm kind of soured a little bit, if you want to call it that, on Kayvon Thibodeau. I see some of the things people complain about, some of the lack of hustle plays, taking plays off, just not really what you expect from the 5th overall pick. Although he has been productive, I think if you can upgrade at that position and become dominant instead of just good, which we are now, we're good on the defensive line, but let's become dominant. Because if you can become dominant in one area of the game, you're gonna be hard to beat for some teams, because you're gonna think about teams that have weak offensive lines. If your offensive line ain't up to par, we're gonna kill you. And we got a dominant defensive line. I mean, dominant. That is what we're talking about right now. So if you can upgrade from Kayvon Thibodeau and get Trey Hendrickson or even a Khalil Mack or somebody of that nature, I'm all for that. And you want to say the guys are older? I don't care. Can you play football? Ain't that what we're talking about?
Come on, man.
Like, can you play football? Like, why are we ages all of a sudden? And it's funny, the guys saying that, they old as hell. You older than the player you talking about. So how you?
That's a fact.
Like, come on, man. Be real about it. The guys can still play, man. Yeah, you got to give up money. You got to give up money to get anybody. You know why? Because you broke, poor, and desperate. That's just what it is.
That's a fact.
And so, to piggyback off of what you were saying, NYG, I mean, I like Kayvon Thibodeau, if you can't tell. I got the jersey right here, but I like Kayvon Thibodeau, but to be honest with you, I'm not confident having Kayvon Thibodeau without an Aziz, because we've been dealing with back-to-back injuries now.
Good point.
So, I mean, if you could save money by getting the same type of product on the field by getting a Hendrickson, and then it's kind of like a 2-for-1 type situation, or let's say if you do keep him for a depth piece, I just feel like you're not in a lose-lose situation. And I feel like you kind of get more bang for your buck. You add a little bit, just more value. And I'm saying this as somebody who likes Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't think the play is necessarily my concern with him, but we really do have to start considering the injury history.
Yeah. He's had. I mean, his very first game in the preseason, he got injured for us. He hurt his knee.
Come on,
it was a horrible play. It wasn't his fault, but he got hurt. And Ojulari, injury after injury after injury after injury. That's why I think they let him walk. So I'm with him trading for like a Trey Hendrickson, or go get me a Dante Fowler to at least be able to back up Kayvon Thibodeau and push him to be the best that he can be. Go get somebody like that, or you got to get an edge rusher in this free agency class. And I'm not talking about no edge rusher nobody wants, or some dude that's just on the market at market, his veteran minimum type guy. No, you got to bring a guy in here that can bring the thunder and really push Kayvon Thibodeau to be the guy that you want him to be, or push him out the door.
Exactly.
What you need, Pat, is you need a guy that commands respect. That's what you need. If you bring a Trey Hendrickson in here, he's going to command respect. Same thing with a Khalil Mack. You know what I'm saying? Guys like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to bring in a player that commands respect, because not only is it going to be he's going to command respect in the locker room and push the other players that you want to play better, like a Kayvon Thibodeau or an Azeez Ojulari if he would have signed back. But now you got respect from the other teams in your division. Damn, the Giants got Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Trey Henderson. Oh my God.
Come on, man. Come on.
We gotta really play different against the Giants now. Now you're starting to change the narrative slowly but surely. Because now you have a dominant side of the football. You're nowhere near being dominant in any phase on offense. I'm sorry. I don't care who you bring in here. Wide receivers, quarterbacks, offensive linemen, you still far behind. You need too many pieces. You're not as talented as you are on defense, in my opinion. You got a couple players you got to pay attention to. Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Bobby Okereke when healthy. He gets busy out there too. Kayvon Thibodeau, he shows flashes out there as well. So you now add to that. Add to that. Get busy. So now you like, dang, they got 4, 5, 6 guys we got to pay attention to now.
But even what you said, NYG, if you're dominant up front, and we speaking dominance, like you said, if we have a dominant defensive line, then we could get away with having a mediocre secondary. There's a lot of things that you could possibly, blemish.
You gotta get that ball out of 0.3 seconds.
Come on, exactly, and it makes
I could play corner for you. But
that's a fact.
We're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna switch it to the offensive side of the ball. Now, there's one guy that I want to talk about, and he's not a clear free agent. You will have to trade for him, and that is DK Metcalf.
Let's talk about it.
If you want a guy to come in here and change the way the outlook of your offense is, I think you got to bring in a guy like a DK Metcalf. For one, he definitely commands respect. He's a deep threat. He can run comeback routes, he can run in routes, he can run any route that you need him to do because he's feared. You have to back off of a guy like DK Metcalf because of his speed. You can't bump and run him at the line of scrimmage because of his strength. Like, what are you going to do with this guy, with a guy like Malik Neighbors on the field? That's why I want a guy like DK Metcalf with this offense. Yes, you don't have to have 2 number 1 receivers to be a successful offense. The Chiefs show that every year. The Chargers show that every year. But over here in the NFC East, you got to bully the bullies over here.
Come on, talk about
it. Like Zebo told, what's the other big guy? DeMarcus Cousins. He said bullies get bullied from where I'm from.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm a man from the Grizzlies.
we got bullies over here. The Eagles, let's just call it what it is. They're bullies. The Commanders have turned into bullies. You know what I'm saying? They got with the program. They're like, okay, we ain't gonna keep accepting this from the Eagles. And the Cowboys. When the Cowboys lost their strength, the Commanders smacked them around and went toe to toe with the Eagles to the NFC Championship game. So what do y'all guys think about a guy like DK Metcalf coming over here? And yes, you may have to give up a 2nd round pick, or since our 3rd round pick is the very first pick in the 3rd round, we might get away with that 3rd round pick. What do you guys think about that guy coming over?
I'm getting rid of that 2nd. I'll get rid of that 3rd, like whatever to get DK, because I think it does take you to that next level. Yes, man. Yes, I'm all the way in on having the DK Metcalf, Malik Neighbors situation, man. Come on, man. Y'all got to think about, like you said, Pat, what are we competing against in the NFC East? We have the Philadelphia Eagles who have Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and Saquon Barkley. We're not coming into this thing to be just regular. We're competing with that. You have the Washington Commanders that has a quarterback, man, that can literally beat you with his legs, can throw on the run, can air it out to Terry McLaurin over the top. Deebo Samuel, we don't know exactly what Deebo Samuel we're going to get, but if he's anything like what we know him to be. It's going to be scary. So we have to compete with that. Get DK. Do what you can to try to get him there. Joe Shane, you got to sell it. Look, we have Malik. So that means they're going to have to pick their poison. We plan on putting the ball in both of you guys' hand and for y'all to lead this offense. That's the type of talk that the receivers like to hear. Oh, yeah? Y'all looking for me to hold this down in New York? Okay, tell me more. You know, and like I just said, we are not the only one trying to be the only one, and that's just the major thing. So as far as the idea, yeah, for sure, get DK. But you know, it's not going to be easy when it comes to negotiating on why you feel like DK should be a New York Giant.
Yeah, man. I definitely think the guy you see throwing passes to him, Russell Wilson, why not? Yo, homie, let's go. Trying to play with DK Metcalf. Go trade for DK. You bring in Russ as a bridge to Sador Sanders. Let's cook. Because now, guess what? You're going to have a ready-made offense for Sador whenever he's ready.
Yup.
It's going to be ready for him.
Yup.
You got DK Metcalf and Malik Neighbors. That's what I'm talking about. That's what smart people do. See what I'm saying?
Let's just say they don't want to give up no draft assets or anything like that. There's a couple of guys on the free agent market that you can target. I do like a Keenan Allen, even though he's older. You got Stephon Diggs, who I'm kind of pulling back from. You got a Chris Godwin, he's coming off a major injury. You got some veteran receivers out there that you can actually target. But my favorite target, if you go the veteran route that you don't want to give up any draft picks, is this man right here, and that's Mr. Davante Adams. With no Aaron Rodgers, I think he could be a huge asset to this team going forward. Mr. Davante Adams still has his route running. He's never been a very fast guy, but he still has that speed to where if he breaks a tackle, you're not going to catch him. Still has that route running. And I think he makes Malik Neighbors a better version of himself. Yep. Just looking at that man running his routes and everything. So I like Davante Adams, but if he has to come with Aaron Rodgers, it's a no. But if he's going to be his own man again and go out there and be the Davante Adams that we know that he can be, I would love to see this guy over here as a New York Giant opposite of Malik Neighbors. What you guys think?
Yeah, well, the thing is,
I like the idea.
Yeah. Go ahead, NYG. I got you.
Yeah, man, I like the idea. Yeah, no, I like the idea. Minus Aaron Rodgers, of course. I don't want no part of Aaron Rodgers. I don't think any of us do. So, yeah, Davante Adams can still play, but no. I'd probably rather Keenan Allen or, I mean, somebody a little more reserved, I guess. A little more maybe willing to take a back seat to a Malik Neighbors, because you know Keenan Allen had to deal with that in Chicago with last year with the kid DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. So I do like the Adams idea, but I just got a smelly suspicion he might be following Aaron Rodgers around. Yeah. Hey, don't be surprised to see them on the Vikings. I don't know how they'd make that work, but that'd be crazy work.
Yeah, that would be absolutely crazy.
New York, I don't think it's going to work out here with Davante Adams. Why would he want to be in New York? I mean, when you have to deal with the disaster that is the Jets, you don't have to go much further to go to a bigger, worse, more disastrous situation than to go across the hall and look at the New York Giants. So why would you want to go from trash to garbage? I don't know. If I'm a player,
well, the thing is,
I don't think it's going to work for him.
We have to understand one thing about
he wants to win. Adams. You know what I mean? I think he wants to win. From what he said, you know.
Yeah, what we have to understand about Davante Adams is that This dude has PTSD, yo. Like, he's not trying to go to another team that doesn't have their quarterback situation right. He did that before, and he was miserable. I don't know if anybody has seen Receiver. That's on Netflix, where you gotta get the behind the scenes and kind of understand more of his personality and what he was going through. And this dude was damn near miserable over there. So
he wasn't miserable. He was getting killed.
Come on, man. Come on. So with us not being uncertain with that quarterback position, it's going to be a hard sell. Now, again, the idea I absolutely love. I'm a Davante Adams fan, like, especially as I'm a receiver guy. Come on, man. Him and the league neighbors is just super dangerous. You're going to have to pick your poison. I like the way he approaches the game. I like the way he could just be able to even just have that veteran presence to teach a guy like Malik Neighbors certain tools and different trades on, how to timing and how to run routes and things like that. What? The idea is wonderful. I don't see it. I don't see it being a thing. So
I guess I gotta be on that lonely bridge by myself, but I do understand where you guys are coming from. I'm just saying, as far as the top guy coming, and if it's not a DK Metcalf, if you want that impact without having to go into the draft early for a receiver, I think Davante Adams is the perfect fit.
Yep.
Definitely if you get it like a Shedeur Sanders. Have that route runner, have that guy out there, 2 route runners. This is where Jalen Hyatt comes into effect, because now you can use Jalen Hyatt the way he's supposed to be used, as a deep threat. And with him clearing things out and safeties coming over the top to help guard that deep route, you allow people like Malik Neighbors and Davante Adams, even Wan'Dale Robinson, to work the middle of the field with some routes and get you some yards. So that's my whole thing about it. But since we're talking about receivers and those monsters that we have over here in the NFC East, this is the guy that I want them to target the first minute of free agency, and that's Javarius Ward. He's played against top dogs his whole career. He's played against the George Pickens. He's played against the AJ Browns. He's played against, the Justin Jeffersons, and he's been locked up with a one-on-one, no help. And he could play zone, he can play man, and he's done well for himself. Got a Super Bowl over there with the Kansas City Chiefs and played with the San Francisco 49ers when they were very good. This past season, a lot of people got hurt. That's why they weren't very good. But this dude's a monster, bro, and we need somebody like that to train the other guy, who I still think is a very good corner, and Tay Banks. He will show Tay Banks what he's supposed to be. This is a dude I want to target, and he changes the defense as well. Go give me a Khalil Mack and a Javarius Ward, and I'm happy on the defensive side of the ball. You get yourself a defensive tackle to pair with Dexter Lawrence. But what do you guys think about him? There's some other DBs on the market like Reed, Murphy, not the guy that they reported, the dude, I don't know, what's the dude's name you said from the Eagles, the third stringer?
Rogers.
Douglas Rogers, Isaiah Rogers, whatever his name was. Go give me somebody. Go give me somebody that commands attention. You see guarding DK Metcalf right there. You know what I'm saying? So what you guys think about that? There goes AJ Brown.
Yeah, so Javarius Ward, man, another element that he can add to a defense too that I don't think is talked about enough is his ability to come up and make a tackle. And Lord knows we need that. Lord knows we need that. Be able to hold that outside down, man. And me personally, like, my prototypical type cornerback, I love a tall corner. It's a lot more natural and easy for them to do what we're seeing right here in the highlights, for them to play high point and get those high point balls that is in the air and stuff like that. So, I'm with Javarius Ward for sure.
Yeah, me too, man. One of my top targets, like Pat said, was Javarius Ward. I just think, man, you gotta get tougher, man. You gotta get tougher in this division. This dude obviously has guarded some of the top receivers in the game. at a high level. So I thought about DJ Reed for a minute. Then I realized he was 5'9". And I don't know, buddy. Might want to stay over there in the AFC East because they playing bully ball over here, brother. And I don't mind DJ Reed as a target, but Charvarius Ward has to be your number one guy going into free agency from the cornerback spot. Just because who he played and who he played for. With San Francisco, been to Super Bowls. They were damn near in the Super Bowl every year outside of last year. They had a down year. So he has the experience. He has the as far as skill set, 6'1", 6'2", you know what I'm saying? Long, rangy, athletic, all the measurables you want, you know? And the toughness of having to play against guys like DK Metcalf over there and Tyler Lockett, you know, the Rams receivers, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, you know, whoever Arizona was throwing out there at you. You know, they had Hopkins at one point. So he played against top competition. Yeah. You know, so, I mean, that's what we want here, man. Stop getting these bit players because you can't get players to come to you. And that's the reason why you don't shop at the top of the market, to tell the truth. So you got to change that. You got to change that somehow, some way. And like we've been saying, it's probably going to be overpaying. Overpaying. Overpay for the guys you want because they ain't going to come here no other way. So don't shop at Walmart, Joe Shane. Stop shopping at Walmart.
That's a fact.
Stop buying great value. Shit don't last.
What do you guys think would be your ultimate free agency for the New York Giants this 2025 free agency, which is going to start tomorrow? What would be your ultimate guide for the New York Giants to sign? Basically what I'm saying, what players would you go after? Which players would you sign? And how would you go about it?
Yeah, I mean, we've mentioned the main guys. To me, I would like a receiver that adds a wow factor to this team. I've been seeing these different teams get those type of guys. I've been seeing these teams make those type of moves. When is that going to be us, man? Give me a receiver that when you see that they are coming to the New York Football Giants, that the whole league stops for a moment and says, all right, oh shit, it's going to be Malik Neighbors and such. Malik Neighbors and Decaf, or Malik Neighbors and Devontae Adams. As far as defensively goes, we've seen this defensive line at times, man, be great. But you're only as strong as your weakest link. Get Dexter Lawrence some help. There's plenty of guys that is going to be in that draft, yes. But you also can kill two birds in one stone and get somebody with some veteran leadership as well. So that's my main thing that I really want to see, man. It's time to stop being so reserved. You know that corny fans outside of this fan base, they call us the Giants. Well, let's not act like them though. Let's not act like that, man.
Facts.
Like let's shake some shit up. So that's it for me, man.
And YG?
Yeah, I said it earlier. Starting with the quarterback. Go get Russell Wilson. You know, he might not cost you maybe 15, 20 million a year, you know, which is more than probably less than Aaron Rodgers going to be. He might want 40. So he going to want his age, 41 million. But do that. If you can trade for DK Metcalf, cool. If not, I'd holler at a guy like Keenan Allen. I don't want Stephon Diggs. Not really too keen on Amari Cooper, but I think you need a veteran of that type to go along with Malik Nabers. You know what I mean? Defensively, well, first of all, offensively, you need an offensive guard. There's a guy from Baltimore, I don't know his name, but Bakari, I think. And then you got the guy Will Fries from the Colts. Not too keen on him. Just not feeling the Colts players right now in that organization. So I'd rather go get the Baltimore guy. Then on defense, Travaris Ward, we already talked about that. DJ Reed will be a second option. I just don't, size just scares me a little bit. But, and then defensive tackle. That's the final thing you need to tackle, so to speak. Defensive tackle, I would definitely shop in the mid to high end of that market, just because it's so important for your superstar to have some help. And then with the edge rushers, I mean, you don't got to make a splash there. It'd be nice to, but get somebody decent. Get somebody, like I said, that commands respect, even if they might be on the back end of their career. You come in. This is the position where you literally need a name, to be honest with you. You need a name. You know what I'm saying? You need a name that can still play, though. You know, not just anybody. So a veteran in that aspect would do good. I think the other positions you could try to fill in the draft and see what you have on the roster. So that would be my perfect free agency. I know it's a lot, but you got to kill it. You got to kill it. Otherwise, these guys are gone, and we resetting this whole thing again next year.
I'm going to look at it as, if I'm Joe Shane and I'm trying to save my job, I'm going to go out to save my job because it ain't my money that I'm spending. Agency. So, first and foremost, I'm going to get Travaris Ward, which is probably going to be around $20 million a year. Secondly, I'm going to get either Jenkins, the offensive guard Jenkins from the Bears, or Daniels, the offensive guard from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then I'm going to go to defensive tackle. Either I'm going to go get Jonathan Allen or I'm going to go get Milton Williams. Those are my first three things. Now, when it comes to other things in free agency, I have to decide between edge rusher, which is more important to me. Do I need a top edge rusher or do I need a top receiver? Me personally, I'm going to get that top receiver, and I'm going to trade for either Brandon Ayuk or DK Metcalf with that third pick, which is the number one pick in the third round. They're both asking for third rounders. You can't get no better than what the Giants pick in the third round because we have the very first pick. So that's like a second rounder to them. So me personally, I'm going to go get DK Metcalf, give up my third round pick, maybe have to give up a fifth round pick and maybe a pick next year if we get josed like we always get josed. But I'm going to go get him. Then with the money that I have left over, do I want to go all out? Do I want to go out there and get a Khalil Mack at the back end of his career? 2 years. It's probably going to be around 2 years, $42 million for us, which is not bad. You can make it a 3 year, make it a void year out of one of those years. And when he gets 36, 37, he may retire or decide to go to greener pastures and play out the rest of his career. But I'll go get a Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
But let's say you don't want to do that. Okay. You got people like Dante Fowler out there. You got people like a Josh Sweat out there that may be around $18 million a year for about 3-4 years. You got some people out there that you could go get. You can go get yourself a DeMarcus Lawrence, who's not going to cost nowhere near $20 million. He hurts the division. He knows what the division's about. He knows what it's about over here. I had to go get one of those guys. And guess what? I'm still going to go get a linebacker. I'm going to go get Drake Greenlaw, who's not going to cost you that much, and let him play opposite of Bobby Okereke. And I'm bringing in a bunch of dogs here in free agency. You can call me stupid or whatever. I'm trying to save my job. I got the cap fixed, and I can fix it again after this year.
Yeah.
Because it's going to go up one more time, and it's going to be damn near $300 million by the end of next year.
Yeah.
So we're going to be okay. I go draft my quarterback in the draft. I'll get it. I like the Russell Wilson idea. I go get Russell Wilson. I draft me a Shedeur Sanders. I let Russell Wilson go out there and take that pounding for them first 4 to 5 games. If we're not in the winning season, come on in, Shedeur.
Yep.
You got DK Metcalf to throw to. You got Malik Neighbors to throw to. And I'm still going to draft a receiver because there's plenty of receivers that you can draft late. That you can have underneath them to train. Me personally, I'll go get a Jimmy Horn. Shedeur Sanders knows Jimmy Horn.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have a plan going into the offseason. And all these dudes, all these fans that you're talking about, the Giants type dudes, they have no plan. You can't listen to them dudes. They're just talking noise. I could talk noise because I could sit here and formulate a plan in my head right off the rip. Am I an NFL GM? No, but if you put me in that position, I'm damn sure gonna make sure that I look like I know what I'm doing. That's a fact.
Well,
plan.
Oh man.
Now if the plan works or not is a different story, but I had a plan. You don't even have no plan. Also, if you don't want to go into the draft and get one of these running backs, which I could think you could get a Rocket Sanders in the 6th round, which would pair with Tracy perfectly, go get yourself a Najee Harris. He's not going to cost you that much. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that this team is going to have to do in this free agency, and we're going to see what these boys do.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
But if they go out there and they grab Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to turn into the biggest troll I've ever seen.
Yo, word, man.
You thought the trolls on Daniel Jones was bad?
Man.
Aaron Rodgers better not sneeze wrong.
Oh, man.
I'm going to show you how to troll. But... I mean, this was New York Giants Full Access with your 3 captains.
Yes, sir.
The Aboriginal Sports Network, man.
Yup.
Any last words before we get out of here? Because man, I'm waiting. I think I hope it starts at midnight.
I'm waiting
but
too,
I think it
man.
starts. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting to see what these boys do because there's a lot of jobs at stake here. A lot of jobs. So let's see what y'all gonna do, man. But any last words from you guys before we get out of here, man?
Nah, man. Just I'm waiting like you. You know, make the right moves. Just make the right moves. That's all we can hope for, man. This New York Giants fan base, man. So we shall see.
Yeah, that's a fact. The movie starts tomorrow, man. The movie starts tomorrow. Get your popcorn and. Hopefully, man, the Giants is inside the party. So that's all I could really hope for.
Let's hope.
You know,
right.
Listen, if you tuned in, first of all, I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with us. But make sure that you subscribe. Subscribe. This is the Aboriginal Sports Network, man. This is just touching the surface. We are going to make sure that anytime you are tuned in to us, man, we're going to make sure that we giving y'all these true detailed conversation, analysis, and really just the content, man, that you're not going to get nowhere else, man. So, yeah, I am your guy, TP Way the Giant, but make sure you do your due diligence and subscribe.
Yes, sir. And till the next episode, y'all know what it is, man. Peace.
Or just the Giants organization that really put Daniel Jones in the forefront and carried him in that type of light, man, on national TV.
$223. The suspension also opens the door for the Texans to release Al Shahir after
Then in 1976, guess who was hired? Tees fans. This is where preference plays the biggest.
I'm gonna have to knock this down and get the oohs and ahs of Houston.
Welcome to the Aboriginal Sports Network.